Hi, everybody. My name is Lindsay, and I'm a Bravoholic.
You're preaching to the choir. Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Honey, you have to stop saying that.
Bravoholics Anonymous.
Okay. What?
We got. Looks like you got the memo.
Got the memo.
I wasn't gonna go shirtless because that'd be illegal.
Yeah, we'd be demonetized. It's like 20 degrees here. Can I at some point put a shirt on?
No, this is overall
Right.
episode as deemed by Rob. You look great. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
I think that
for
was
some
the
reason
I
it's
think
just
that was
not
the
hitting.
pose he struck at one point.
For some reason, it's just not hitting the same. My nipples are already chafed.
Tug them down,
Is that
like let
bad?
it sag more so your nipples are out.
Not
Maybe that'll
out.
get
His
us
were
better
not out.
ratings.
His were not out.
Loosen your straps.
Loosen up my straps, babe.
Maybe that'll get us. Maybe then we'll get an ad supporter on the show.
I use Manscaped for my for my chafed nipples.
I tweeze my nipple hair.
Thanks, Tweezerman.
Tweezerman, yeah. Well, you guys, it's time for another episode of Traitors. But first, welcome back to Bravoholics Anonymous, your weekly support group for all things reality TV. And if you're new here, this is a safe space where Bravo addicts and pop culture obsessives come to break down the drama one meltdown at a time. And today, joining me back on the pod to talk about Traitors is...
Hi, I'm Thomas Roush. I'm from Alabama, and I'm a Bravoholic.
And I'm Lindsay Roush. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you'll see that we're in overalls with no shirts on.
Just the way the Lord intended.
Just like a good Southern boy.
I keep forgetting, his accent slips in and out sometimes. I keep forgetting he's from Alabama, and that's like a big part of his personality.
It barely slips in. I think it's intentional if it shows up, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But I mean, everyone's hot for Rob, so we had to wear overalls and, maybe someone would be hot for us.
I will say, when he wore these overalls, that was strike one for me. It wasn't working for me.
Do you know the history of the overalls?
No.
Okay, so when he was on season 5 of Love Island US, he would just wear these overalls with no shirt every day. And I think it's part of like his character choice. Like it's a very fuck you move because he's not like trying and putting on cool clothes. He's not trying to like look hot in a bathing suit. He's wearing ugly fugly overalls and no shirt. Like he's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm just like a really cool guy that doesn't care. And that's Rob.
Well, that's giving, straight white male. Of course you don't care. You don't have to care. Well, in the Traitors Mansion, I don't appreciate it, okay?
In the Traitors Mansion, I don't. I mean, the one episode appearance, fine. I'm gonna let it slide.
Don't
but
bring it
these
back.
overalls better not show up again.
No, I'm not fine with it, yeah. And I need nipple cream already.
I that's a really interesting problem. Do you already
know.
have like blood? Do your nipples bleed when you run your like triathlons?
I lube them up. So no, but only because I've intervened.
What do you lube them up with?
It's called monkey butt. You like put it on all your crevices and all your chafe prone areas.
I didn't know that. Monkey butt. That's disgusting.
Or maybe it's monkey butter.
Did you hear that?
What?
When I said disgusting, my throat gargled.
Oh, that's fun.
It went, and that was
that's disgusting.
And,
That was disgusting. I think it's monkey butter, and that's like it's cute. It's like haha, and he's like showing his butt. I don't know. It's basically just like I don't know, Vaseline.
Look at my dog.
Archie.
My dog Archie.
My dog Archie.
We go snake hunting in the Alabama swamps.
he finds the snakes for me, and I hold them up, and I
And for
say,
the
"Hey guys, this
camera,
is it."
and I make sure my shirt's off, and I say, "Here's a snake for you."
And then he bites my abs, and I say, "Oh, that
Oh,
hurt."
I
And
saw
I'd
that
say,
video too, and it made me
and I was
happy.
like, honestly, I do the same. Call me a snake. Oh, honey, you know.
I'm so happy we're in overalls today because me, you, Rob, we're all just in overalls, ready to recap season 4, episode 5 of Traitors.
If you come for me, I'll finish you. That's the name of the episode. That's a full sentence.
If you come for me, I'll finish you.
If you're gonna come for
Isn't
me,
that redundant?
I'll finish you. It's not great. I think the phrase is supposed to be like, "Don't come for me unless I send for you." You know, if you
Okay.
come for me, I'll finish you. Oh, I get it. Sexual. Oh, really
Yeah.
good.
Oh
That
my
was
God,
good.
that wasn't your first inclination. That's usually your first inclination.
Usually, I'm the gutted mess. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Adonis belted mess.
Adonis belted, desperate for human contact. Yeah.
Usually that's you,
Um.
but today I guess it's different.
Yeah, I guess I'm just ground up a lot.
Well, I'm proud of you.
I think it's because I had a date. I think I had a date that I went on, and I was like, oh my God, some people might want to hold my hand sometime down the line. Who knows?
Do you feel like sharing?
It was good. It was a second date. It was great. He's really sweet, and I want to see him again.
What'd you guys do on the date?
We went to dinner and
What'd you
ice
eat?
cream, which is
Your favorite?
um ice cream is my favorite food. To all those who say it's not a food, that's wrong. Just because it's a dessert doesn't mean it's not a food.
Who said it's not food?
My sister, if you're watching, yeah.
Nancy, are you
Her,
just being argumentative for the sake of it?
I think so. She was like, "That's not food." Okay, you know what? You know what her favorite food is? Are you ready for this? Celery. Because it's because it's like a vehicle for many different things, and she likes the crunch and the texture. Yeah.
No. Is that like a lie
No.
she's telling herself because she has like a fitness goal or something?
I maybe. So
Okay.
these people are moving furniture above me. It's very annoying.
They said, oh, he's recording that podcast. Let's rearrange the living room.
That's literally rearranged furniture. No, they're very nice. They're very nice. What was I talking about? Oh yeah,
Your
ice cream
date.
is a food. Yeah, ice cream is a food. We did eat ice cream when it was about 20 degrees outside.
What flavor
So
did you
that
get?
was I got peanut butter crunch. It was like a peanut butter crunch thing. I almost got oatmeal cream pie. Are you ready for this?
What?
The ice cream place we went is the number 25 ice cream spot on Yelp in the nation. It's a
Wow.
big deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
My next
In the words
question.
of in the words of Andy Samberg as Nicolas Cage, that's high praise. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My question is, if he was akin to a celebrity, what celebrity would he be most akin to?
I don't know, because if this is on, if we clip this on my Instagram, he might watch it, and
Well, celebrity lookalikes are always flattering.
that's true. I would give him like, oh, this is hard.
Look at my dog. Look at Archie.
He's so cute.
He's
Oh, he looks like Archie.
so sweet. He looks like Archie. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Great. My Archie or Archie Bunker?
No, you're Archie.
Oh my God, he
Archie
looks like
Bunker.
this. He's smoochy smooch.
Maybe a mix of the two Archies.
Great. Great. Oh, your nipples?
I'm just cold. I'm cold.
It's gonna keep you awake.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, let's just jump into the episode then. Now that we've learned all about your personal life, and my eyebrows are still blonde-ish.
Great.
Don't they
Stunning.
look way better now?
They look great. Before I was like, please, someone help her. Now they look
I mean,
great.
I still am like not. There's nothing on them. I haven't floofed them and like lined them and stuff, but whatever. I mean, we're here. We're doing podcasting,
Yeah, they're
so
stunning.
unless you're on YouTube, you can't see them anyway.
Get on the tube.
Today's episode is fantastic, schmantastic. And I just want to say that right at breakfast, at the top of the episode, Dorinda gives Ron the opportunity to understand more about where she's coming from. And she shares more about how much it bothers her that Ron is like failing to connect with her, and how he uses any information that he gets and talks about you and calls you a traitor. And I just feel like Dorinda is a very transparent person. Like, you can read her face. She tells you exactly how she feels. Blank canvas there. And I think it's crazy that Ron is such a distaste for her. I'm like, did something happen?
Right. Yeah, something off camera that we didn't see. It's like, why do you
It's
guys
really
not like each
weird
other?
because most people will just ignore older women. Like, they're the the notion is that, like, as you get older, you become more invisible. In
That's
America,
sad.
yeah, it is
Yeah.
very sad. And Dorinda's hardly invisible, but I just Ron, the way Ron approaches her is weird to me, and I don't know if he has mommy issues or if he has like she said something that he is like really judging her on, or she's aligned with someone that he hates. But it's just like I don't understand it. Why he doesn't want to just play nice. Dorinda's not somebody that takes a lot of work to cater to. Like saying good morning and asking her how she's feeling goes a long way with her. You know, she's looking for a breadcrumb. Just give her the breadcrumb.
Breadcrumb. She's like, I don't know why everyone's not clapping every time I'm not murdered again. Yeah.
Well, I have my first Bravo
So
moment of
take
the episode, like right here at the breakfast table.
Okay, yes.
And if you're new to the show, which a lot of you might be, we've been getting a lot of new followers lately with our Traitors coverage. Bravo
Welcome.
moments are our favorite moments, or moments we want to highlight in a positive light that are big, small, or anywhere in between. And hell no moments are moments that we want to highlight in a negative light. Anywhere on the spectrum they fall, big, small, or in between. So my first Bravo moment at the table is the lack of response that Ron gets when he arrives.
Oh yeah. Oh
It's
yeah, poor
literally
guy.
like
He's like,
crickets when he walks in the room. And what does he expect? He doesn't. I want to see. I want to go back and watch other episodes to see if he clapped or cheered when anyone showed up. Because I bet he didn't. But for some reason, he expects people to be excited to see him.
and I also love how Natalie goes, and Ron, obviously. Like when he walks in, it's like it's like damn.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that made me laugh. And another Bravo moment for me right off the jump is Kristen's suspicion of Colton.
Same.
He gets to breakfast and Kristen says her suspicions are on Colton. He isn't curious. He surveys the group and then reverse engineers the conversation to go in the direction that he wants it to go in. And I'm like, bingo, baby, like give her $100,000. She just articulated it perfectly. That's exactly what he does. I don't even think he knows he does it. I think he's such a moron. He's such a manipulative moron that he like actually does this thing perfectly, but probably could not articulate or define his strategy of doing it.
And I love that she says that she's like, having worked in many kitchens, like this person is too busy being a leader, they forget they're part of a team. And I was like, thank you for saying that, Kristen. I love her, even though she's obviously wrong, but I want her to continue anyway with this this move.
Pursue him. He can't
Pursue him.
even if this is the thing, even if Kristen in her gut knows that Colton probably is a faithful, just like the reasons he's used on other people and what's coming up about Ron, it's like he's not a productive person to work with. He doesn't want to work as a team, and being a faithful is a team sport.
Yep.
So I love that she's sniffing around his like little trail, and she's like, because she's smart enough to do this. If anyone's going to be able to like rally the troops to get Colton out or like start getting people suspecting him, Kristen is one of those people that doesn't say much, but when she does, it feels purposeful. And
Feels
so
important.
if she wastes her chance, because we know the men get multiple chances at being wrong, but the women don't. So if she wastes her chance at being wrong about a traitor on someone, I mean, I'm happy it's Colton because I don't want to look at him on my screen anymore.
Yep. I love right off the bat, whenever they walk in the room, they're like, salmon, where's the salmon? Is there salmon left? They're obsessed with the smoked salmon. Is that the only source of protein they have there?
I think that and hard-boiled eggs, from what I understand, are the only proteins on the table. And I'm like, why aren't they giving them enough protein? And also, like, I would totally target someone in the house that was eating all the smoked salmon before everyone else got to the table. I'd be like, we're clearly
Yeah.
rationing this, right? Because you can't choose if you're like the last in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
No
I
wonder, no wonder Rappaport was shoveling food in his mouth.
Right. Yeah, it was his last chance. I wrote my short list of fashion that I loved was Candace, Maura, and Steven. Those are my three. I feel like not everyone was giving what I needed. But those three brought it to the table, literally.
Yeah, no, they did a really good job. On that note, I think it's time that we talk about Colton's history. There was a lot of comments on my TikTok post that I mentioned last episode that Lisa Rinna commented on about Colton's legal history with his ex from The Bachelor and his stalking. And so I thought it would be a good point for everyone listening to the podcast, if they're unaware, to be informed about what kind of person we have here on the show.
Colton Underwood should not be on the Traitors, and here's why. My name is Demi Burnett, and I was on Colton's season of The Bachelor. Colton's getting the pilot Pete, Dylan, Efron edit, and it's sick, okay? It's absolutely sick. So if you don't know, let me explain to you what Colton did, okay? Let me actually just get some screenshots going. So Cassie wins our season of The Bachelor, and her and Colton date for a little bit over a year, and then they break up, and then this happens. After they broke up, a judge signed off on a restraining order for Cassie against Colton. But what did he do, right? What did he do? Oh, it's frightening. To start off, he has sent her unsettling text messages, repeatedly called her, and placed a tracking device on her vehicle to track her whereabouts. Then another instance, her brother saw him outside of their family home at 2 a.m. Doing what? Stalking. When confronted about this, he sent threatening text messages to Cassie, her friend, and her little brother. In the alleged text messages, he said to her, "Because you're a selfish person who isn't ready to be loved. I spent 2 years loving you the best I could, and now I'm sitting here like a fool. You've hurt me beyond words. I've always done nothing but be there for you, and you still disrespect me all the time." Like, this is fucking sick. In the next incident, Cassie was having a friend over, and he somehow knew, and he didn't like it, and he was blowing up about it and telling her that he was going to hold her accountable. I would like for someone to hold him accountable. Anyone, please. Now, here's where it blows my mind that they allow him on any television show or around any other human being, really. The filing states that Colton used alias phone numbers to anonymously send harassing text messages at all hours of the day to Miss Randolph and to her friends. The filing continues. Mr. Underwood also sent harassing text messages to himself, pretending also to be a victim of the anonymous stalker. He later admitted to being the one to sending the messages. What? Cassie then states that on August 19th, she discovered a tile tracker taped to the bottom of her bumper car. She got a private investigator to help her figure out who did it. And 2 days later, after speaking with Colton about what transpired, the filing states that Colton admitted that he was the one who put the tracker on the car, and he was the one that sent the text messages to her, her friends, and himself under the alias phone number chart. Oh my God. So everyone who's saying, like, he made a mistake, like, what? That is not a mistake. He thought about this, and he still decided to go through with it multiple times. He, like, thought about all of this. He premeditated all of this. Like, this is all really, really scary types of thinking patterns, people. And so for this to happen, all this comes out, right? And what does he do? He says, "I'm gay." And everybody, they are so shocked by that they forget about all of that psychotic behavior that I just listed. And the craziest part is that was all part of his plan. He did this on purpose. He came out right at this time on purpose. So people would not pay attention to what we had all just discovered, which is that he is a stalker. He is dangerous to women. So what happens to him? Oh, he just gets show after show after show. Coming Out Colton, The Masked Singer, some show he was in the jungle, something about being a virgin show with Caitlin Bristow, I don't know. Show after show after show, and now he's on the fucking Traitors. Not only my dream show, like, forget about me. It's like the show everyone wants to get on right now. It is the show to be on. And I haven't seen my friend Cassie on any shows at all since then. Why have I seen her abuse her on like 5 and I haven't seen her on any? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, that makes me sick. It keeps me up at night. Don't let the Dylan Efron edit fool you people, okay? This man is sick. Sick. And he should not be getting all of these awesome opportunities. Absolutely not. You do not reward behavior like that. I mean, we will not forget. Also, I don't know how anything works, but I'm saying allegedly. This is all alleged because I cannot afford anyone to sue me, okay? So allegedly. This is all allegedly.
Colton Underwood stalked and harassed his ex, Cassie Randolph. I covered this 5 years ago. A lot of people are finding out about this right now. He put a tracking device under the trunk of her car. He created a fake stalker and pretended to stalk him, kind of like Jussie Smollett style. And now we're finding out in Entertainment Weekly that Entertainment Weekly was not allowed to ask any questions regarding Colton's ex, Cassie. I don't even blame Colton for stipulating this. He obviously had a private settlement with Cassie Randolph, which means they're not allowed to talk about it. But that settlement benefits him way more than it benefits her. She's moved on. She's married to this guy, Brighton. He's a cool dude. He actually wrote a song about Colton Underwood called Creep, talking about the tracking device under the trunk of her car. But here is Demi Burnett, one of our favorites. And here's what she has to say regarding why people shouldn't be fans of Colton Underwood.
Traitors, and here's why. Colton's getting the pilot Pete, Dylan Efron edit, and it's sick, okay? It's absolutely sick. So if you don't know, let me explain to you what Colton did, okay? Let me actually just get some screenshots going. So Cassie wins our season of The Bachelor, and her and Colton date for a little bit over a year, and then they break up, and then this happens.
And then she gets into what I'm about to share with you, a 5-year-old video. You can go watch the whole thing. I've got the entire document, which involves all of the evidence. So here is some of the text messages from the stalker. Again, this was Colton Underwood. Anonymous phone number. This is the fake stalker that Colton created to Cassie. Hi, Cassie. You like playing games, huh? Let's play some games then. Let's just say we used to be family friends. Be young. Have a good time. You'll have nothing but regrets later with how you treat people. Smiley face, smiley face. 3:50 a.m. the next day. Smiley face. Next morning. Totally seems like you're growing up, LOLZ. Living at home still. Whoa. And then he says, was wondering how long it would take for you to run back to an old flame hookup. The whole town knows all you ever wanted was to be famous. Congrats, you got it. But at what cost? Super fake. Cassie's brother found the tracking device duct taped to the trunk of her car. Psychotic stuff.
The texts are scary. And and putting a tracker on someone's car is insane. Michael saying that, I'm not sure. I know it worked that way, 100%. And it doesn't matter. Lisa says a really great thing at the table. She's like, it doesn't matter how you meant it, it's how he took it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really good therapy talk. And I was like, yes, that's true. But I also don't think that's really what Michael meant. I think Michael meant like, you're leading the pack. You're so outspoken. If anyone's keeping a secret that you're a traitor, it's you. That was actually the context I took it immediately until Colton bit back with, you thought it was easy to keep a secret like that for 29 years. And then when Johnny was like so appalled by it, then all the things started going together. I was like, oh my God, like I see how they took it, but I actually didn't take it that way when I first heard it. Did you hear it like that?
Yeah, but I think it's because the internet spoiled it for me, and like I saw a clip of it, and you know, I don't know. It's weird. Like as a fellow gay, I was like, I don't know if it, like, mine wasn't a secret. Like, I just didn't know what was different about me. Like, I knew I was different, and I didn't know what was different about me until I learned what gay was, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And I knew for maybe like 5 or so years before I told anyone, but I didn't feel like I was keeping a secret. I just feel like I was more like performing as someone that I thought would be safe and okay and acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's a bummer that he said it that way and it came off that way and he took it that way. I hope that wasn't his intent. Um, but but I don't know what else he would have meant by it.
Also, when he like jumps down his throat and is said and like threw the 29 years into Michael's statement, and Michael's like, I didn't say 29 years, like because that's what Colton said. He was like
Hmm.
so in the moment, he was like putting words in someone else's mouth. And because the rest of the episode, he was playing with people and doing that exact same thing, like when he was fighting with Michael in the kitchen before the round table. And I know we're getting right into it, but I mean, like, we've all watched the episode. We're here to talk about it. Let's just,
Hmm.
I have to, this is the most juicy morsel of the whole episode. I have to talk about it. I feel like what Colton was doing in the kitchen was he was like, so Michael, like, does Alan wear the same thing in the turret? So Michael, like trying to catch him up and like put words in his mouth, and then when Michael's like, no, I think you're a traitor. He's like, oh, isn't that like the fifth person you've called a traitor? He's like always playing with people's words and really patronizing them, and I just thought it really sucked that at the round table it came to another point where it was Colton's interpretation, and it might not have, and Michael is a bull in a china shop. Like, he just talks. I'm not like defending anything he said or even his intention. And I know that they're good. Like, Michael came out and said that he's spoken with Colton multiple times and they're okay, and like
That's good.
Colton's called him since and stuff. But like, I just I feel like it was just like so frustrating to watch it all go down like that after Colton was fucking playing with him like a cat and a mouse in the kitchen before the round table. I'm just getting, my inner rage with him is just getting so bigger and bigger every episode. Like, they are literally stoking the fires of my female rage against Colton, where like I just can't be on his side. Like, I just, and the only thing that made me like think twice and not think he was being demonic by pulling out his experience and keeping a secret and like interpreting what my Rappaport said that way was Johnny Weir and Lisa's reaction to it. And that like checked me in how I was feeling. And I was like, okay, like, you just need to your hatred for this guy subside, because like truly Michael should not have spoken that way. But I also get it. Like, at the round table, like, look at Tiffany last week. It's just, you're in the moment, and you might get
Hmm.
defensive and you might get emotional, and people are preying on all of those things and judging you for all of those things to see if you're worthy of being kept in the castle and if you're faithful or if you're a traitor.
I yeah, one of my Bravo moments was Michael yelling at Colton before the round table where he was just like he's like, you should be humble right now. Like, you made a big fucking mess. Like, you said Tiffany and we all voted for her and you were wrong. And he was like, yeah, okay, blah, blah. And then he goes, he said, you'd be really smart not to come after me. And Colton was like, that sounds like a threat of a traitor. And I was like, oh yeah, you think this traitor would threaten you in front of all these people, in the kitchen before a round table? Like that, my favorite is when he goes, your little sniffer might be a little clogged.
I love
It was
that.
so,
Yes, I love that. It was
this
so
was the
funny and so
this was the first
true.
time I was Team
He's like, you
Michael.
should be
Yeah.
humble. You should be humble. You shouldn't be out here doing this shit again another day in a row. You were wrong about somebody. Like, you should sit back one, because that's what Michael did the day before, and Michael played it well. But unfortunately, this guy, this monster has him in his sights now, and he didn't originally to start the episode. So let's backtrack and let's take it back at breakfast, and let's talk about how we got to that point with Rappaport and Colton going to blows before the round table.
I mean, we gotta start with my first hell no moment. Monet was murdered.
Ugh. And I just can't help think, Candace, you're losing your allies, girl. Like,
I know.
she's really
And
putting her eggs all in one basket. I would not, like, you saw how Rob, at the suggestion of Mora, swept it away. It was within a second. He's like, I don't think that'd be the best use of it. And they agreed, and then they just moved forward. Candace needs to start doing that for the people she's working with.
yeah, and I feel like, I mean, I thought maybe from the edit, Lisa or Candace was the only person Monet talked to about Lisa, and now I pretty sure that's the case, or else they wouldn't have murdered Monet, because they would have been like, oh, he told people about Lisa, and now Monet's gone. So that
I
would
don't
put more
think
heat
it's
on Lisa.
I don't think it's that detrimental to go after someone that spoke about you. I think they really overthink that. Thomas, if you told multiple people you thought I was a traitor, I would murder you. And then I would say, the traitors are trying to make me look like I did it. If I was a traitor, I wouldn't kill Thomas.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
too obvious. Like, why don't they just do that? I mean, at the
That's
end
a
of the
good
day,
point. Yeah.
having someone in the game talking about you is not good.
Yeah, that's true,
And
actually.
if they're talking to lots of people, it's even better, because you could be like, they're trying to make me look bad. It clearly wasn't me. That'd be stupid. I'm smarter than that. Like, I would just do that. So,
And I love that Monet says she's going to haunt the castle in ectoplasm on all these hoes. I think that's beautiful.
I did love that too. That was on brand for sure. And Monet's freckles when Monet went out looked really great.
So good.
Really good freckles. Yeah.
All the fashion we're going to miss out on. That's sad.
Well, let's talk about fashion, because we love to kick off breakfast with some looks. And Dorinda's wearing an over-broached blazer lapel. Like, her lapels are over-broached, I would call them, on her like little suit. And Candace comes in an 80s inspired powder pink suit dress. And I'm just like, oh, we're all feeling menswear today in the castle.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rob comes in his overalls, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, and I'm lost. You lost me.
What is, like, if he makes it to
one.
the finale, what's his finale fashion going to be?
He doesn't care. Like, that's it. Like, I'm sorry. He had like one cool cardigan last week. Like, the fashion is not giving, but that's not why he's there. He's there for his face.
I know, but there's still a wardrobe department.
Thank you. And he needs to invest in one or go make friends with them.
Like,
I mean, yeah. I think I don't like that we are giving him so many passes just because he's pretty in the face, okay? I am starting to get upset with him.
Yeah. The lack of effort is not impressive.
Yeah, and like, I just hate it when hot people have everything and they're just like getting everything they want and people bow to them because they're hot, okay? It's not right.
It's not okay.
No.
Well, that's a bummer. But you know what? I knew they were going to kill Monet. You know how I knew they were going to kill Monet?
How?
Because Candace said in like the first episode that they can't kill Tara because she's using her curling wand. So Candace is taking Tara to the finale. Mark my words. Because she needs that curling wand. She probably had an instant like we all have done our first couple trips to Europe where you plug your hairdryer in and it starts breathing fire.
Okay, I talked to a client about that. They also did that. Brought an adapter and
Didn't work. Didn't work. Cheap, broken adapters.
And that blow dryer does not work to this day. I have a prediction that if and when Candace takes Tara all the way to the finale and then wins, at the reunion she's going to get her like a bedazzled curling wand as like a, hey, sorry. I think that's going to happen.
I think that'd be really nice of her. And I don't think it's a surprise
really
Tara's works, because Tara is an Olympic commentator. She travels the world. She has to learn which power adapters actually work and get tools that actually work. So it's not a shock that she actually has the proper hairstyling products that work in those outlets.
Right.
Well, I just want to, my first Bravo moment of the show is, oh no, I already said a Bravo moment, didn't I? I already forgot.
When Kristen was on Colton.
Yeah, and no one was excited to see Ron. Well, I have another Bravo moment, Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And Dorinda is just so cute, and she's just so happy to be there. And she's so happy to connect with people and play the games and stuff. Like, at the end of the challenge in this episode, she's like jumping for joy and like excited that they did. You know, she's showing up at breakfast and she's excited. She's just excited to be participating, and it's kind of endearing.
Totally. That would be me. I'd be like, oh, I'm here. I get to play again.
Yeah. She's really having a good time. And I'm actually really happy she got a second chance. I know at the beginning of the season I was kind of making fun of like how desperate she was, but I guess I would be this desperate too.
Yeah, I would want more screen time so that I could be on TV. Yeah.
I just can't wait till she like gets really comfortable and really pissed off and flies off the handle.
Yeah.
For real. Well, Ron starts targeting Dorinda right at breakfast, and in a confessional is like, she wouldn't let me get a word in edgewise. And I was just like, and then he's also targeting Michael, which is not new. But I'm just like, Dorinda, really? Is she a threat right now?
Yeah, she's one of the ones that I'm like, is she there? Like during the roundtables and stuff, she has nothing to say. Like, yeah, what?
I really wonder if Ron is like adapting a new strategy where he is like targeting people that he knows aren't really threats to not,
Like, is he off of Mora now? Like, is that he's like, I know who it is. It's Michael and Dorinda. I'm like, okay, well, where did that come from? What about Mora?
Mora shut him down at the round table, I guess. Maybe he realized
I guess that was enough
the Mora
for him.
thing wasn't going anywhere, so he put it on the back burner. Like, I don't know. I don't really get it. And honestly, I'm getting annoyed with his coverage. I'm getting annoyed that they keep giving him camera time for his stupid theories. Like, I would rather see Steven's theories, not Ron's. What's Steven thinking? Show me Steven. What's Johnny Weir thinking? Show me Johnny. Don't show me Ron again. I'm over Ron. I'm sick of Ron. He's not funny.
I'm assuming
he's not even making jokes.
I feel like all the people that are getting camera time now are the people that are going to be gone. And then the second half is going to tell a different story. And that's when the quiet people now are going to have their time to be like, we are the faithfuls that are figuring it out.
Oh, that's such a good point. Thank you for grounding me. I feel like I forget watching these episodes that they're not just like shot and edited chronologically. They like go and shoot the whole season, and then they
There's a story
find the
here.
storylines, and then they cut them together that way. And I needed that moment to just check me for a second and reassure me that I'm not going to have to watch these imbeciles talk the entire time.
Right.
Thank God. But I'm just like, I just want to spend time with my man. Like, let me hear about Steven.
Right. I literally every note I have when Alan is giving the mission, like the rules of every mission, Steven is always standing there looking incredible, and I write it down every time. Like I'm not trying to see him every time he's on camera.
I love
really
Steven.
Good.
Bravo,
Steven. Fits him really well. Wow, his sunglasses. He's a dad, but like you can tell he like really keeps it together. Wow.
He's like aging like a fine wine. Honestly,
I'm gonna look up how old he is. I'm looking up how old he is. He looks like he's 32.
He doesn't look like he's 32. He looks like...
You're right. I'm being nice.
You're being really nice. He looks like he's 39.
39. Oh my God. And he's an Aquarius too.
Oh, then we can't
February
be together. Oh.
What? I'm an Aquarius. What's wrong with that?
Don't worry about it.
We're air signs.
Uh-huh. Anyway, I'm just trying to bug you. I'm just trying to bug you. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Oh my God. If we were together, we could have like a joint birthday. Oh.
I would come to that.
It scares me how delusional I am sometimes.
Did we throuple with Steven?
No, because he'd obviously want to be with you. And I don't want to share. I'm sorry.
That's fair. You're entitled to what you want.
Thank you. And I want my fellow Aquarian man. Oh my God, Dylan Efron was an Aquarius too.
He's not really on your team, so sorry.
I know he's straight, but so spaghetti till you boil it.
It's all right. You can lust after my husband. It's fine. I'll let you. For the competition in this episode, the players are breaking into groups and they have to look in the fountain for clue coins, then go to the place on the grounds and enter it to free the statue and then carry the statue back to the fountain. And they're like these little devil Cupid cherub statues. And underneath the statues are little like trapdoors with shields inside. And this is an all or nothing challenge. So one, if they don't bring back all of the statues, the faithfuls get no money in the prize pot. And two, if someone takes one shield, the traitors can murder that night. But if nobody takes a shield, then the traitors can't murder. That's right. Thomas, would
Mm-hmm.
you trust the other faithfuls not to take shields?
No.
You would not trust them. You'd be like, they're going to take a shield for sure.
Someone will. Yeah, fucking Jam's ass. Yeah, I'd be like
Yeah, Jam's out.
the paranoid ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I would not.
The 4 shields in the trapdoor were really tempting because then everyone has one in your group and the secret could be kept safe. Would you consider taking one?
Yes.
Would you
If
take?
the-
Would
the-
you take it? Would you take it?
If the rest of that foursome, when we get to the final one and there's 4 shields and they're like, I don't know, I think we should. I'd be like, okay, I'll do it. Like I would just like I would put it in I'd be like, put it in your shoes, and then just never say it to anyone. I'd be like, if we do this, we can't tell anyone ever for the rest of this television program.
You're so foolish.
Why?
Because you know someone out of those 4 people, one of them's going to tell someone they took a shield.
That's true.
And then
Yeah.
they're going to also say, but everyone in my group took a shield because they're not going to look like a bad person to the person they're telling. So you'd be outed. I would not, honestly, I would not trust anybody. I would assume they were going to take the shield, but I would not take the shield. If, I wouldn't, traitor or faithful.
It is a bit of a target. It is a bit of a target, yeah.
Because it's just such a high risk, low reward.
Yeah, it is just 1 week. You're right.
And there's so many players in the game.
Yeah, there's still like a lot of them, like 15 or so. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I don't understand some of these people's justification of like, yeah, I'm a big voice, so I'm a threat. Or if I have a shield, I can speak up at the round table. I'm like, no. The traitors don't go after loud voices. They haven't done that.
Yeah.
So I don't understand the logic that a lot of them use for it as well. But we get the cut right at the beginning of the challenge that Colton is saying, if there's a shield, I'm going to take shields because I'm such a target.
I'm the man of the house, I'm the one that's driving this.
And so we see Mark and Colton go in a team again. And this is like the second time I've seen them working together in a challenge. Just want to make a note of that. And then I also see that Maura and Rob are in a group together again. And the rest are all kind of scattered with each other. And the housewives are all kind of divided.
Yeah.
So Michael Rappaport, after what we know happens at the end of this episode, after he leaves the episode, he came out with a podcast on his own show. And he answered a lot of questions in regards to the stuff that happened on Traitors. So far, part 1 has come out. I'm excited for part 2. But in part 1, throughout the episode, I'm going to start salt and peppering in things that Michael Rappaport exposed in this like tell-all podcast episode, so that if you're really into it and you don't want to go listen to Michael Rappaport talk for the first 8 minutes of his podcast about where to follow him on social media, no lie, he repeats himself over and over again, you don't have to. So the first thing I want to bring up in this episode is their boots. Michael talks a lot about how they emphasized wardrobe and how so many people came prepared with so many different things, but nobody thought of their active boots and what they were going to be wearing in the competitions. And so they were all given boots and they were very uncomfortable when they got wet and stuff like that. So if you are on a future season of Traitors, make sure you think of your footwear for challenges, because according to Michael, this challenge was like super uncomfortable, running all over with soaking wet boots and socks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine the blisters.
And then having to go put your like high heels back on and be like, yeah, no, I feel great. And having not showered and feeling gross with like blistery, soaked, moist blisters.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Like damp gangrene feet.
Right. I love that. I love that Candace during the challenge was like, what if I fall in this water and get a yeast infection?
Who's going to pay for that?
Yeah. Who's going to pay for that?
Yeah. That's true. It was like red dye number 40 water. It was like literally carcinogen water.
Yeah, it was.
Don't tell me they didn't use red dye 40 to color that.
One of my Bravo moments was Mark and Colton. I forget who they were in a group with, but it was 2 ladies, and while they're running, Colton's far ahead, and Mark goes, slow and steady, Colton. We don't want to leave the ladies behind. It's like, yeah,
He's
thank you, Mark.
such a gentleman. Yeah, I posted a TikTok video, and if you're not following us on TikTok, Bravoholics.anonymous, I posted a TikTok video because someone had commented asking about that. So I went and found the clip and posted on TikTok of Mark saying that to Colton. And I'm just like, God, that guy, he's so unaware. He's so socially unaware. He's got to get out soon. He's got to be kicked out soon. He has no social awareness. He's an
Yeah.
idiot. Okay, so the men start dividing the group again. I roll. And Jam Jam asks about shields. Jam Jam's always obsessed with shields. You said this last episode, and then he says it at this
Yeah.
episode, and I was like, Thomas was right. Thomas was right.
That's right.
He's obsessed with shields. He's got trauma. He's got survivor trauma. Okay,
Right.
with their stupid idols, that they have too many idols anyway. And then Johnny yells back at Jam Jam, only a traitor would take a shield. And
I love Johnny.
I love that. I love that outlook, and I love Johnny. Like Johnny wading in the water where Tara's like, "We love frozen water. I don't like water like this." And Johnny definitely doesn't. And then you just see Johnny's ass, and he's like fisting through the water looking for the coldest.
In his head to toe zebra athleisure, and he's like, "This is disgusting."
Zebra athleisure in red water. It's so gross. And I just, a bravo to Natalie. Right at the jump of the competition, Natalie's like, throw the old coins out. Throw the decoy coins out. And like, thank goodness she said that. Could you imagine if they were just dropping them back in and having to sift through them? They would have never won the challenge. Yeah. They would have never won.
She's like, I really like her. I would want to team up with her. She's like very smart and very, yeah. I'm into her.
She's a built competitor, and like I feel like every episode her muscles get bigger. I don't know how that's happening.
I know,
but every episode
was, like,
her muscles look more and more jacked, and I'm like, what's happening? She's like the Hulk, and I just want her to be on the challenge again because
I know
she better be on next season because she would destroy those women.
Yeah, she'd be great. Yeah, she was like breathing in and out, and I saw her abs, and I was like, you better work.
I'm staring at her lats the whole time. She's got these like, she's got second shoulders right here. And I'm like, oh my God. She definitely can do a pull-up.
Oh, absolutely.
My dream to be able to do a pull-up.
I think Monet said on her podcast that she does CrossFit. So like, that's like all they do.
Yeah, you're right. And honestly, that the high risk, high reward, but high risk.
I did CrossFit for about 6 months. No.
I've never done CrossFit. I've done every workout. I've done every style of workout but CrossFit. And that's because a really good friend of mine is a really talented chiropractor. And she's made a small fortune off of people that go to CrossFit.
Doing CrossFit, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, she said, it's like it's the dumbest workout you could do, frankly. Because you're going to just hurt yourself. It's just too risky.
Yeah.
So... no thanks. Okay, no thanks. So Thomas, you would take a shield. I wouldn't take a shield. Colton runs ahead.
Well, you convinced me. I wouldn't either.
I love how open we are. We're just as honest. If I was in the group and like the group wanted to take a shield, I would make sure I say I don't think it's a good idea, but then I would take it because if they're all going to do it, I don't want to look like I'm making them feel insecure because like I said last week with how Jam Jam reacts to people, if people put you on the block, if people target you in a way, you have to show them that you're open and you're a cool person and you're chill and like, whatever, man, like, it's okay. Like, don't worry. And otherwise you are as good as gone. So if people want to take the shield, I'm not going to be the stick in the mud. I'm not. But I also am not going to be the first to be like, let's do it, you know?
Yeah.
So the competition, I mean, whatever. They get the statues there. They turn the wheel just in time, and they all celebrate. Dorinda, she's so happy. Jam Jam is like hugging Natalie. Like, people are so excited that they did it. I love that they get a little challenge win. Like, I would love to do little challenges like that every day. It'd be so much fun. Yeah.
I have 2 things about the challenge.
What?
First, I love that. Much like the last challenge with the corn dolls, Michael again is like when they get the coin that says the labyrinth, and he goes, the labyrinth, the labyrinth. It's the labyrinth. I love that he doesn't know the word labyrinth. And then I love that there was an otter there. Like I saw an otter, and that made me think like, where do otters live?
You saw an otter?
Yeah, you didn't see the otter in the river when they were like, oh, we have to cross this river. There was an otter.
Well, they're called river otters. So they live in
So they're in
rivers.
rivers.
But
But
I've
there's
seen
also
them.
but there's sea otters.
Yes, there are. They live in the.
Sea.
Oh, see,
Oh no.
you did know. You did.
You did know. I just like didn't think that they would be in Scotland.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's different there's obviously different subspecies of otters. But yeah. Oh my God, there's a fruit fly in here, and that is going to bother me.
Shoe fly didn't bother me.
Okay.
Shoe fly didn't bother me.
Well,
And then I wrote down that Steven looked great post mission.
stop. That was my note. Okay.
Was it? Oh my God.
So back at the house, I just want to cuddle Steven in his flannel. And I said we could both wear flannels and just look into each other's eyes.
Oh no, I meant like while Island was like, congratulations everyone, and they were still out there. He looked great. But yes, post flannel. Flannel too, yeah.
Okay, well, post competition flannel.
I'd be giving him
like
a
we
post
could just
mission
cuddle.
rub
We could just cuddle in our flannels. And he has such beautiful amber eyes. His eyes are so pretty. They're like almonds, like honey almonds.
That's what we're missing from Traitors is a showmance. Why hasn't there been a showmance? We need Rob and Moira to get on that.
Well, I think they are. I think after the shoulder throw, I think it's just it's proximity at this point.
It's a matter of time, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's only a matter of time, and I think the audience knows it too. But I mean, we all know Mora's like way out of his league, but for a 2-week Scottish fling,
why not?
Why not? Okay, well, back at the house after Steven and I are like cuddling and looking each other's eyes and like being perfect together, Ron interrupts us. I mean, Steven and Dorinda. And he says he's 90% on 2 traitors. And I'm like, how do you get this percentage, Ron? Stop occupying camera time. Please stop.
Yeah.
And Steven's like, what? Like, who are they? Are you going to tell us? And he's like, yeah, I'll tell you. It's Dorinda and Michael. And Dorinda's sitting there, and Dorinda hates this. He hates this. And he knows what he's doing to provoke Dorinda. And Dorinda, he goes, I think Dorinda's a traitor. And Dorinda's like, I've never voted for you once. Why are you paranoid like this?
Why are you doing this?
Why are you doing this? Why are you paranoid like this? And and Dorinda says her faithful family will stand behind her. And Ron says, you feel good. And I'm like, what is with these men?
What is going
trying
on?
to provoke people? Like, what makes them think this is a good strategy? It's so, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the confrontation. I do. I think it's like, ooh, how could we have it any other way? Everyone's being hot. But it also feels like it's not confrontational in the sense of like, it feels like bullying. Like the people that they're targeting, when Colton targets Michael and when Ron is targeting Dorinda, it feels kind of like it's a little bit bullyish.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It doesn't feel productive. And so maybe that's why I feel like it feels like bullying.
And he didn't really have any reasons for why he thought she was a traitor. That was why it is.
I'm like so confused. Like did something happen off camera? What the hell is going on? Why isn't his target set on Miss Light Footsteps Mora?
Maybe he thought like, oh, Dorinda also is a small woman. Maybe she has light feet. But he didn't say that. He just was like, I think it's you and Michael.
I don't know. I think he just likes to be unsavory. I really do. I think he is like, he reminds me of like that member in everyone's family that calls themselves the black sheep, and it's always self-appointed, and they're like, I'm the black sheep of the family. You're just treating me like that because I'm the black sheep. Like Ron gives that. Ron is definitely the self-appointed black sheep of the Traitors Castle.
I do think it was unfair that how everyone like went after him after the Porsche thing. Like,
I
and they're not
don't.
holding anyone else. but they're not holding anyone else accountable for their mistakes. That was one of my hell no moments at the roundtable when no one is saying no one is getting on Eric and Colton for having a mistake with Tiffany. They're always on him and Portia.
I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
And Michael brings that point up to Colton, and like that is definitely something that comes up later in the episode. But you can't speak out at the roundtable night one and go up against someone that's as big as a housewife who comes with a built-in alliance, essentially. I mean, not to make assumptions, but like comes in with a built-in alliance and have 3 points of evidence and then get it wrong and expect people just to let that go away. Like you just can't. And even if Portia didn't gracefully at the roundtable say, "Oh, I must have misspoke," if she just denied it, then for all we know, Ron could have been just making all of that up. So I think it's fair that they stay on Ron, because it's just you take your shot, and you have to learn when you're going to take your shot. And like, you don't just get to keep taking shots. There's going to be repercussions for your actions. So you got to choose wisely when you do it. It's a social game.
Yeah.
And then especially if you're not connecting with the other people on the show, it's really easy to keep harping on Ron. Now we're on day 5. Like,
yeah. I guess I forget how quick this show is.
Yeah, and it's quick, and it's like they've dogpiled the first 3 episodes on people, four episodes on people. They've dogpiled on people. So if you see that's happening, you gotta. Ron should have taken a note from Michael in day 2, sat back, kissed some ass, and just laid low. And didn't. He's like Colton 2.0, coming in and charging at people and threatening people that he thinks they're traitors to their face.
Yeah.
So I just don't feel bad for him. I really don't. I think it's so deserved. I feel bad for Tiffany. I feel bad for Monet. I feel bad for...
Yeah.
I even feel bad for fucking Donna. She didn't even get to do anything.
Yeah. She didn't get to do anything.
Colton is in the kitchen. Are you ready to get into some Michael?
Yeah,
some Michael and
we got
Colton
into
stuff?
this a little bit earlier.
We did. So Colton's in the kitchen, Wonder Boy, and he starts building his case against Michael, which I'm excited about, because going into the challenge, I was really worried about who he was going to set his targets on. And I think that because Colton is trying to wear the pie on his face and go with something the group has been talking about, so he's choosing Michael because Michael's been more contentious with him. And this is the one instance that we see Colton wearing pie on his face, and it's still so aggressive.
Right.
He comes up with this theory that whoever voted for Michael night 1 has been removed from the show, either through banishment or murder, except for Jam Jam. And so Colton, like I said last time, if he played his game at 8%, he'd be playing a great game. Because he goes up to Jam Jam's in the kitchen. He knows Jam Jam hates Michael. They've bickered numerous times and threatened each other numerous times. And Michael's pointed in his face and called him a traitor. And it's just like, he knows what side Jam Jam leans on. And so Colton starts talking to Jam Jam about it. And he's like, Tiffany, she did the same thing with Tiffany before. He's really trying to get Jam Jam in as a number for him. Because he was like, Tiffany's been talking about you, blah, blah, blah. We got to get her out. I got your back last episode. And now this episode, he's talking to Jam Jam about Michael. And then Michael comes in the kitchen, and Colton asks Michael if Alan, like I said earlier, stays in his outfit in the turret. And then Michael starts laughing because Michael knows what he's doing. Like, Michael loves to shit talk. Michael's a chop buster. Like, he's going to be like, nice try. Like, so he starts just like chuckling while he's eating. Like, but doesn't literally say nice try. And I did get a little annoyed because Natalie was like, why are you laughing? Why are you being so weird? And it's like, whoa, chill, Natalie.
That was annoying. Yeah.
she's really drinking the Colton Kool-Aid here. And I'm like, girl, do not start working with this fucker. Do not, girl.
Right.
Because I've been rooting for you this whole time. And if you start clamoring on with Colton, I'm gonna lose my shit. So she like then literally takes off. She doesn't even stay there to see where it goes. She takes off to go talk shit. And I was kind of bummed about it. I was like, she's getting really caught up in this, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
And it just feels like a very Eric and Colton situation where she's looking for confirmation bias. So she then goes and runs away to tell people how Michael didn't answer Colton and like was being weird when he asked him about like what he wears in the turret in the library. And then this is like meanwhile in the kitchen, Colton is just patronizing Michael, and he throws out the fake count thing. He's like, "Oh, isn't this the 5th name you've said?" And he's like, "No, I think you're a traitor." And he's like, "Yeah, this is like the 5th person you've called a traitor." And then like and Michael's just bubbling, getting more and more angry.
And I'm sorry, Colton, isn't that what you've been doing? You've been calling people traitors, sending them home. Like, oh my God.
Literally. And then that's when, as you said, Michael's like, you should be humbler. You like sent someone home that was innocent last night. Like you should be quiet today. You shouldn't be coming at people. And then of course we go into the round table.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone in the house is aware of the screaming and stuff. So the round table kicks off and they're like, should we talk about the shouting? Because no one wants to kick it off. I feel like the round tables are getting quieter and quieter as we kick it off. No one wants to talk. And so they're like, should we talk about the shouting? And then poor Michael, he needs a moisturizer. His skin is looking so drab and tired. And I'm just like, it's probably so dry there. I'm like, someone help Michael. It's funny. The reason I don't feel bad for Ron and I feel bad for Michael is because there are people that Michael has alliances with. There are people that Michael connects with, and he's trying to play the game, and he's excited to play the game, and I can see the passion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the passion. I see Ron trying to be a detective, but I don't actually see him connecting with anybody. And at the end of the day, I think being a faithful is a team sport.
Yeah.
That's my dividing line between the two people.
Yeah.
You know, ethics, politics, and all that aside, obviously.
Yeah.
And then Michael goes into this round table, and I think he knows that this is a big one for him. So he comes in with the performance of a lifetime. This performance will get him on House of Villains. Mark my words. Not the season that's about to come out, but next season of House of Villains, Michael Rappaport is going to be booked on it, because how could they not? How could they pass up on him? Conniving, colluding, commiserating. Colton.
Another misused word. Yeah.
It's just
but
so funny.
Though.
And Rob is literally like, I'm sorry, but commiserating means sympathizing, okay? He's like, I just have to say it.
God, that was so annoying. And Michael, I wrote a note.
He's like, no, it doesn't. He's like, yes, it does. He's like, okay.
Okay. Michael's literally pointing fingers at the round table. He's like, this guy, and then you.
I love
was
it.
Like, oh, we're literally pointing fingers.
I love pointing fingers. It's like, why do we have to sit back in our chair like this the whole time for traitors? No, like, I want them all to be like Michael in this room. I want them all to be screaming and pointing. I want them all to be like, traitor, traitor. My favorite. If you're a traitor and you
Traitor
know,
and you know.
hands. That's such a Bravo moment for me. Like, this performance he really puts on. Conniving. I love alliterations. Conniving, colluding, commiserating, Colton. And then he looks over at James like, you're a traitor and you know it, clap your hands. If you're a traitor and you know, and then he's quiet for a second, and he's like, if you're a traitor and you know it, and everyone's like, oh, come on, Michael.
Come on, Michael.
And he's like, and you really want to show it. If you're a traitor, Jam, and you know it, clap your hands. It's just so funny. It's so funny. He's so good at the round table. Like, I'm gonna miss it. I am going to miss it, but it's okay.
I think when Yeah, when he crossed that line of like the whole like you'd be the best at keeping a secret, that was the writing was on the wall. And like Natalie and Johnny spoke up, and Maura was like, "That was a low blow." Like that was a wrap
You
for
do a
them.
lot of talking, but you don't say
You're
any.
doing a lot of talking,
What did she say? You do a lot of talking, but you don't say anything.
but you
worth
don't say
hearing.
much.
You don't say much. That was like prolific. I was like,
I was like, "Damn, this girl's deep." Yeah.
fuck. But that's okay. I mean, he was like a firework, right? He came out the gate, he exploded, and then he was done.
What about Ron when he was like, when Dorinda was like, "I don't know about your family," and he goes, "My family's none of your fucking business." I was like,
Yeah,
"Whoa!" Yeah.
he has a real problem. Something. It's. I just don't. As somebody who works in entertainment, okay. As somebody I mean, Ron has been in it longer than me, has done more than me, and I will tell you that it's so relationship centric. I just don't
Yeah.
understand how he thinks this behavior and this and how and you schmoozing is defined by Hollywood. Why does he think going on a celebrity game of traitor and not being kind to the other celebrities he's playing with is like a thing? And then I don't want to get ahead of myself, but like Michael's going this week. How is he going to recover?
Yeah. Sorry, I just started laughing because I just looked down at myself. It's just so much like pale flesh.
I'm pink. Look at my skin. I'm a pink person.
I'd rather be pink than fucking fluorescent.
You're translucent. You're like a deep sea fish.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just,
Yeah, I don't think
it was really mean. It was really mean when Dorinda was like, she's like, I think, oh, my favorite thing, another Bravo moment for me, when Dorinda was like, I think you're a housewife hunter. That was such a good soundbite.
Yeah, another alliteration.
Yeah. I love an alliteration.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is not the program for Ron.
I don't know if his agent did this to him or if he thought this would be a good idea, but whoever it was very wrong.
I feel bad that I don't know who he was before this. Is he really a popular comedian?
No.
Okay.
But he's been around a long time. But like I said, you would call Ron Funches to be on like Celebrity X's and O's. What's that game? Celebrity Square. Like what? He'd be on a Celebrity Family Feud episode. He'd be called to be a D-list comedian on a reality show.
And I just looked it up, and Steven is 39. Ron is 42. No offense, he looks a lot older than that.
Yeah, but
is that horrible?
No, I mean genetics. You never know. Skincare.
Genetics.
You never know. Steven probably starting on TV when he was like in high school probably made him take better care of himself. But
and I don't know why
I'm so because it's men.
Yeah, it's men. My nipples are wow.
You just want to keep.
I'm so excited.
You want to keep calling attention to it.
No, they really are hurting. Now I need to check.
Okay.
Okay.
Clear.
This is raw. This is salvage. This is selvage denim. Okay.
It's real 100% cotton.
Dickies.
We're not promoting brands that don't promote us.
Oh, you're right.
Okay, so Ron has a really hard time at the round table. He gets shut down again. He should just really stop trying. Dorinda gets really offended by what he says to her. Colton tells Michael he's lucky he got this far, and then Natalie backs him up, and I'm like, Natalie, stop supporting,
agreeing with him. Yeah.
Like, I literally would be like, stop it.
Stop it.
Yeah, and then my favorite is when Michael calls Eric the man with the magic ears. That made me laugh.
Oh, I love that.
He's like, oh yeah, the man with the magic ears.
Says the man with the magic ears.
And another thing that he says is he like really lays it on thick that Colton made someone yesterday feel very alone and isolated, and he really lays it on thick that like you shouldn't even be talking today because of what you did to Tiffany yesterday. And
yeah,
it was just I he's right. And then of course he puts his foot in his mouth and he says what he says, and everyone agrees that he can't stay.
Yeah.
But it really does, like, I really want to talk to someone who knows The Bachelor really well and ask them about Colton and, like, his history here. Because in this moment, he says he kept a secret for 29 years. So that means he did go on The Bachelor knowing that he was using those women and had no regard for them.
Or he was trying, like he said, I think, was it this episode? No, it was the next episode. Like maybe he like was trying to bury it, or like convince himself that he also grew up very Christian, and a storyline on his season was that he was a virgin. So like I could see like a religious thing being a part of him.
I'm sure it's multifaceted.
Shoving it down. Yeah.
And like, it's not even our place to judge it, but I just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Just that going on something like that when you are so uncertain, it's, I'm not somebody who believes that the means justify the ends. I don't believe that. I don't believe that treating people a certain way to get what you want, or doing a certain thing, as long as it gets you exactly the thing you wanted, it makes it all worth it. I don't believe that, but I think Colton does.
But I also like those shows, like 90% of those people are not even going there to find love. They're just going there to get more followers and go on whatever spinoff. So like, I don't know,
that's
whatever.
true. You know what? That's true. That's true. I will say that
So, like,
my one friend that read one of the Bachelorette's books said that she didn't pick Colton in the end because he was so creepy in the like fantasy suite.
Ew. Yeah. And I feel like, no shade, like he never really stepped foot on the football field. Like he went to 4 different teams, and it was like,
sports?
Well, when I looked it up about I was like, doesn't he have a son? I looked it up, and like he was on 4 different teams, but it all had an asterisk, and it was like he was never on the field. Like he was just like played with them, but never was like first string or whatever.
Oh.
And so like if someone came to you and was like, you should be on this show, date 25 women and be like the lead of this show, we'll pay you a lot of money, like I might do it.
You would not.
I mean, no, well, there's also no hiding that I'm a big old queer, so like I wouldn't do it.
But if you could be straight man, I still don't think you would do it, Thomas.
I wouldn't.
The ethics
No, I
of
wouldn't.
it, right?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
So
I wouldn't. But
so,
I don't know. I don't know if that was his case or not. We don't know.
I think by him taking it, it's open to judgment. And I did see someone, I forget which famous gay person it was on TikTok, and God, I wish I remembered it.
I guess it's a little murky to me though, like what a secret is versus like discovering who you are. Like did he know at that point that he
He said
gay,
at the round table, he's the one that, right, as a response to Michael, he's like, do you think it was easy to keep a secret like that for 29 years? So that told me he kept a secret. That's where I'm getting it from.
But yeah, but if we're gonna say it about Michael, like he was in the moment, he might not have said that. Maybe he's saying that like he came out when he was 29, so he's just saying right off the bat, yeah, I kept it for 29 years. But maybe he didn't know for those whole 29 years.
You're right. He could just be responding just like Michael was just responding. So we'll say it's a wash.
Yeah, I'm gonna judge him for being a stalker and
and putting tracking devices on someone's car,
right?
And making a fake number and messaging her things like knowing where she is and knowing what she's wearing and like, I can see you at the coffee shop and shit like that. That's crazy.
I'm gonna say that's not cool, and he shouldn't be on my television for that reason, and that I don't like what he's doing in this television program either.
I really am curious, like, how I don't even understand the logic of how you get to that place with a woman.
Yeah.
With a woman. Do you think he was embarrassed because she was like breaking up with him and like he was staying in the public eye because of their relationship?
Yeah, or part of me wonders if like maybe he like came out to her and was like worried that she was gonna tell people, and was so then like I don't
But
know.
then
Like,
wanted her to live in fear. I don't know. It's weird. It's
I don't
not.
know. It's weird. It's weird. It's
It's not good.
messy.
And guess what? You could see it in his eyes and the way he looks at these people across the table. I couldn't imagine looking at him across that table. I would probably be on Bad Girls Club VH1 season 55 or something after this show, because I would probably crawl across the table like a possessed woman and strangle him. Like, just go,
He just yeah, he just makes me uncomfortable. And yeah.
he makes me uncomfortable too.
Anyway,
Well, Michael, the best looking, smartest, and dopest faithful, was asked to leave.
yep, self-appointed. Yep.
Yeah, he's voted out. And Ron, the rest of the votes
Nobody
were
cares.
looking at you, buddy. So I'm excited to see what Ron does to try to stay, or if he just is now so defeated after snapping at Dorinda. I feel like my gut reaction of how he acted was like so childish and immature, and like there's a definite parallel to like men not having any emotional control whatsoever on this show. Have you noticed that? Every man on this show has a severe lack of emotional control.
Well,
Even
we don't know.
Dorinda is more controlled than these people. Like,
I will say that the men that have gotten airtime, like we don't know that
Right.
about Steven and Mark.
well, I'm
and
just
whatever,
saying,
but yeah,
across the board here, pure numbers.
yes, it's not looking good for these men.
So I'm really curious to see if Ron tries to recover in any way, or if he just rolls over and it's an easy out tomorrow. But after the roundtable, Kristen pulls Eric and Mark and says, if she dies in the next 3 days, it's Colton. And Mark and Kristen agree that they're going to watch him.
Love.
I love that too, because I thought up until this point, I thought Mark was pretty locked in with Colton.
Yeah.
And then Candace, Johnny, and Tara confirm with each other that they trust each other. It's like, do you trust? You're faithful. You're faithful. We trust each
We
other.
know we're all faithfuls. And Candace is like, yeah.
Yes, Candace. Thank God these people keep aligning with her,
Yeah.
because she keeps losing. Like, I honestly am worried now for Johnny and Tara, because I feel like everyone she starts working with gets kicked off. I don't want them to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But I think the hair curler is going to be a binder for her and Tara. I think Tara's
She was
going
like-
all the way because of that hair tool, and
Yeah.
I really do believe it.
If someone's like, I think maybe Tara, she'd be like, no, don't you dare. No, it's
It's like,
not
you can't
Tara.
talk about Tara. I need her curling iron, so please don't. For real though. But Tara's playing a good game. Like, she's coming off pretty dumb, so that's working for her. Everyone keeps coming up to Colton after the roundtable and telling him they love him and like dabbing him up, and like, that's my reaction.
It's gross.
That's my reaction to it.
Yeah.
And then immediately before bed, you want to talk about someone who's blindly confident and has no fear, and I would use this against him the next day. Colton starts talking shit about Lisa before bed, before he can be murdered. He
Yeah.
starts telling people that he's already hunting Lisa because he thinks she's a traitor.
Another person already. Yeah.
This guy has the worst gameplay ever. It is so bad.
Well, he's bold and aggressive, and that I'm not going to change the way I am. That's how I am.
Yeah, but that's bullshit, because they're literally going to bed and their traitors are going to murder someone, and he's throwing out like threats and targeting someone. And if he really thinks she's a traitor, does he think this is going to keep him safe? I would murder him.
It's also one of my pet peeves when someone's like, I understand that I'm this and this, but that's just the way I am. I'm like, okay, well, it sucks.
Yeah, we don't like it.
We're telling you it's off-putting.
Yeah, well, we hate it. So bye, you're dead now.
Well, we're telling you that it's not a good idea.
For real. So I thought that was like the worst gameplay move. Honestly, a big hell no moment for me is targeting someone before bed, a new person before bed. I can't
And
believe you feel so safe.
especially the nerve of like, yeah, being wrong again and just being like, yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I'm the traitor hunter. I'm Wonder Boy.
Yeah, it's insane. And so that shocked me. Mora says she's never been suspicious of Lisa. And Rob says he hasn't talked to her much. And Rob says, this is the first time I'm hearing this. Rob has an alliance with Colton. And I literally was like,
Gross.
boo. You know what?
Strike two. Yeah.
That's
You
your
know what?
strike, Rob. That's a strike, Rob. Strike one is the strap.
Oh, it's strike two for me.
It made me really angry. And
Yeah.
but then we go to the turret and Rob tells Lisa that Colton mentioned her name. So at least he did that.
Yeah.
And it was in front of other people. She gets the tea and I'm like,
She's like, we gotta, if we're allowed to murder, he's gotta go.
yes, thank you. Yes. But we don't know until tomorrow if there was a shield taken. So we have no idea if they're going to get to murder tonight. But I really hope that they can murder Colton. That would be so good. It would be, I made a TikTok about this and I posted on Bravoholics Anonymous. But I would love to see him taken out now when he's getting a real taste of the game and thinks he's so good at it. And then he's just murdered and he can't play anymore. And he doesn't get like some big round table send off where he gets to say, I'm faithful. And everyone's sad about it. Like, I just want his game ended. And I want no satisfaction.
Oh, yeah. So he doesn't get the last word. That makes
Because
sense.
that is really valuable to him, the last word. He loves to get the last word. So if we could just,
He likes control.
and he doesn't get to say anything. And it's, you know what? He does like control. It's funny he said that about Tiffany. I've never really noticed how much people project. Like, I know I've heard that people project, but I've never really noticed it as much as I have this year watching Traitors and The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Oh, yeah. The fact that I was just like, Steven's 39 and Ron's 42, and he looks, I'm like, that's because I'm worried about aging. My birthday's in a week, and I'm freaking out about it, okay? So it's just all projection.
What are you doing for your birthday?
I'm working on my birthday, but that weekend I'm going skiing with my family.
I used to work with a guy, his name was Rob, and he would tell everyone it was his birthday when he was working so he'd get better tips.
That's genius, yeah.
But
every
he
day?
would say it every time he worked. Yeah, every day was his birthday. That was the gag.
Yeah.
Okay, Thomas. So let's just recap the episode a little bit. Are there any traitors that are in jeopardy right now?
Lisa now.
Lisa, because Colton's now talking about her. Also, Candace, she keeps losing allies, but she did just make new allies with Tara and Johnny, so that's good.
Yeah.
But she lost Portia, Monet, and Tiffany, and I feel like those people were all working with her.
Like, all the people from Drag Race that they've had, they always get sent home in the first 3 episodes. Like, this was the farthest anyone's made it from Drag Race, and it was episode 5. Like, I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, the season Peppermint went, like, week 1. That was the worst.
Yeah.
That was the worst. And Alan even spoke out against that. I remember that season Alan came out and said, we need more diversity and representation on this show, and I'm going to make sure it happens next season. So, I mean, Peppermint didn't go in vain.
Yeah, it's like a petri dish experiment, like a gilded petri dish experiment reflecting society and how fucked up it is.
And I don't like it.
Yeah. I wish another good twist would be like bringing someone back from murder or something, you know, like we
do that on Big Brother a lot where they come back. And I think that's why I think that the traitors have been smart writing people's names with their left hand. I noticed that Candace or somebody wrote it with their left hand when they killed Monet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think they leave that door open because they never tell them who they are unless they were killed in plain sight. So.
Right.
All right. Well, who's laying low this episode? Mark. I think Mark laid low.
The usual people.
The usual,
Yeah.
Kristen, Steven.
Yeah.
Okay, who's gonna self-destruct from their ego? Shocker, it's Colton. Shocker,
It's
it's
Colton.
Ron. Every week, it's the same people.
Right.
There's potential for Lisa to self-destruct from ego. I will call that out because of the risk of targeting someone that said your name.
Right.
As much as I'm a fan.
Right.
Reputation damage or trust erosion, like the cascading cliffs of the Scotland Highlands into the ocean below, with a great Loch Ness monster. Nelly comes up from the water.
Nelly.
Who has trust erosion?
I feel like it's the same people. It's all these, like, there's such a dichotomy. Like, there's such a.
Well, I think that there's now trust erosion with Kristen, Mark, and Colton. I don't think we saw
Yeah.
Mark hesitating with Colton before. I don't think we saw Kristen hesitating with Colton before. But now Wonder Boy's own allies are thinking twice. And I'm really curious to see if Eric goes running back to Wonder Boy and tells him that Mark and Kristen are
hope not.
talking about him or not. If he does, I am going to be
Furious.
Eric,
Don't do this.
don't you
Did
do
you see
it.
the-
Colton doesn't
Did you see
think
the
twice
clip?
about you, Eric. You are just a fucking little
Pawn.
mingling underneath him. Yeah, you're a pawn. So don't
Did
do
you
it,
see-
Eric.
Did you see the? I think it's a clip from Watch What Happens, and it was there. Apparently, Candace said she's gonna cuss someone out at the reunion, and they were like, "Eric, was that you?" And he was like, and they were like, "No spoilers. You'll just have to watch." Apparently, Candace said that she was gonna cuss someone out, and they asked him about, "Had you heard her music with your golden ears?" And he was like, "No, yeah." And he's like, "Would you be open to collabing?" And he was like, "Yeah, if we're like on good terms, I think so." And they were like, "Are you not on good terms?" So there might be some drama coming with the two of them.
I hate him. I hate Eric. I'm sorry. I really wanted to like him. I really did. I literally, but we're recording this episode and 6 came out and I can't mix episodes in my head. Like I can't, as much as I want to go watch 6, we have to talk about 5 here together first before I can go watch 6 so I don't get them confused. And their strategies confused. I just don't want any interference. I have been avoiding every clip online for episode 6, and it has been eating me up. And I'm just so excited that we're finally going to be caught up now because there is they dumped 5 episodes on us in 2 weeks, which is so much for us to cover.
Crazy.
With no staff, no budget, and just like me editing and you and me scheduling together and us recording and breaking down strategy and making notes and like being able to come and do this. So I'm just so excited to be going week by week now because they didn't even think of the podcasters. They didn't even think about what people like me
They didn't think
gonna
about
do.
us. No.
They just wanted to make everyone addicted. They were so excited to show everyone their beautiful piece of art that they dumped 5 episodes on us in 2 weeks. So,
But we're doing important work.
we're doing arguably God's work.
Arguably God's work.
Arguably, this is God's work. So my last
I
question.
feel God in this Chili's tonight.
I feel God in this castle tonight.
This castle tonight.
My final question. Social standing shifts. Are we seeing any social standings shifting amongst the group? I think there's a clear divide that's starting to form between Colton's allies and the rest of the house. But I do think that a couple of his allies that I expected to be very loyal to him are keeping an ear to the ground. That being Eric, potentially. We'll see if he goes running to Colton, which I'm expecting him to do. I'm expecting him to be little bitch boy and go running back to Colton with the news. I am. I don't think that Kristen and Mark should have trusted him at all. I haven't seen anything warranting trust from him. But I do believe he's a faithful. I think that's undeniable. That way, I think he's an easy kill for the traitors down the road. But you see Kristen keeping an eye on Colton. You see Mark saying he's keeping an eye on Colton. I think Mark could have been trying. I think Mark might have suspected Colton, but also was like trying to ally up so he'd stay safe behind like the bigger bully kind of thing. I could see him taking that approach. I'm really curious now that Rob has announced he's in an alliance with Colton. That's the first time I'm hearing alliance with those guys.
Barf.
So I'm really curious where that's going and what they've left out of the edits. What are they not showing us with Rob and Colton? Because besides them talking in the kitchen when Michael Rappaport comes in and Rob seems to be like validating things that Colton's saying in the kitchen, that was the first time I really saw them like broing out. But I don't like it. I did too. And they're like, we miss you. And then my Bravo moment where Johnny's like, God, he's so hot. I can't even look at him. That's just a reminder, Rob, that you are one strike. One strike. I removed one overall strap if you weren't watching us on YouTube. One overall strap. That's your first strike, Rob. Okay? So
I also
don't
loved
get
at
a
the end
second
of the
strike with
episode
me.
when Johnny
And Eric,
Tara,
don't
she like
you
sat on his
dare
lap
go
and they
running
hugged
up to
real quick
Colton
as they
and tell
went out of the room. That was
And Natalie, stop
you, Tara.
agreeing with Colton. Stop it. God.
yeah.
Someone like Colton would get me sent home so fast. I would lose all composure. I would be livid.
Got it.
I'd be like this. I'd be like
And Natalie, cool
holding
it.
my chalk, probably playing with the chalk to like put all my energy into this piece of chalk. I'll be like,
yeah. Open your eyes, okay? Open your eyes to what is going on in the castle.
they won't let you write. They won't. We learned from Jam Jam, where he's like, "Can I write her name now?" And
This would be me at the round table. Every time he spoke, I'd be like this. Like people
the
would be
fact
like,
that
"Are you
he
okay?"
asked too, what a dork. I'd been like, why are you asking? Make TV. Like, at least Rappaport would have done it. Hold up the chalkboard and go T-I.
I would honestly, I'd be
F.
I
Like,
would
just do it.
I would sit
That
down. I
would've
would
been-
write Colton's
that
name
would've
down
been the
and
TV moment. But if you're
let
like,
the round table begin. Oh, that's right. Jam Jam said that. That's right.
yeah,
I can't. Okay.
lame. Make good TV. Okay, I'm pointing at the camera
That's
like
great.
Michael Rappaport too much. I need to stop.
Yeah.
I'm like, you.
Oh, what a weenie.
Oh, well, that wraps up our meeting for today. Bravoholics,
Yeah.
thanks for attending. You did great.
Just do it.
And you know what? If you have a Bravo moment,
The
or a
worst
hell
case
no
scenario is they
moment,
make you like,
or
hey,
maybe
okay, we're
even
gonna take that
clock
again.
some
Please
straight
wipe
up
that
demonic
off.
behavior, make sure to come and talk to us on Instagram at the Bravoholics Anonymous, or follow us on TikTok at bravoholics.anonymous for clips, hot takes, and all the chaos. If you are loving the show, if you're loving Thomas in his overalls with no shirt on, chafing his nipples and whipping his hair back and forth, if you're loving that I gave Rob a strike and took a strap off, sexy. Please don't forget to follow, rate, and subscribe to Bravoholics Anonymous wherever you're listening or watching this podcast. It helps us so much more than you know. It helps us more than Eric helps Colton with a free vote at the round table. And and he has golden ears. You guys, as always, keep your champagne cold and your taglines iconic. We'll see you at the next meeting.
Wow. That's a lot.